Next on Worcester News tonight, hidden boating dangers, what you need to know about carbon monoxide out on the water. Plus, breweries serve up some local flavor in downtown as the craft beer business grows in central Massachusetts. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. It was a beautiful day today, and many took advantage of the weather by stopping by the Craft Beer Fest in downtown Worcester. Local breweries showcased their products and industry really starting to pick up steam in the city. Our Cam Jandro was at today's festival and has more. Cam?
Catherine, the popularity of craft breweries across the country has absolutely exploded over the past few years, and it looks like it could be a trend making its way into central Massachusetts.
Drink beer.
4 local breweries put their work on display and into the bellies of thirsty patrons. Events like this Summer Craft Beer Fest are opportunities they look forward to.
So it makes it more like a family atmosphere, more fun. It's less impersonal than just a normal sales thing would be.
Being a part of it since kind of before it started getting crazy is huge. I mean, it means a lot, you know, working with a bunch of these awesome guys in the industry that are working their way up too. You know.
According to the Worcester Business Journal, 95 breweries have opened across the state since 2011. More than a dozen of them are in central Massachusetts. Flying Dreams Brewery opened in Worcester back in 2015. Owner David Richardson says the craft beer scene in the city is still in its infancy, but starting to take off.
There's a lot of other places that already are quite saturated with breweries, and I think that Central Mass is really ramping up and starting to get there. And so there's a lot of room for growth, and people are getting really excited about it.
Greater Good is the country's first all-imperial brewing company and will be opening a new brewery and tap room on Millbury Street early next year. After years of home brewing and outgrowing their locations, Vice President of Sales Sharman Wengender says expanding to Worcester was a no-brainer.
Worcester is phenomenal. It's a mecca of its own, and we're excited to help, that industry, help this town continue in its growth. So this is where we want it to be.
With hundreds turning out at the Mercantile Center Plaza Thursday, Worcester brewers are excited about the city's beer business moving forward.
It's growing and it has tons of potential.
It's just going to give more and more people reasons to come down to Worcester. So.
And being a mother of 3, I look at it like, there's always enough love for more children. There's always enough love for more beer.
Now, all of the breweries at today's festival are located right here in Worcester, with the only exception being Greater Good. But they say they hope to open their building in the city in the first quarter of 2018. Catherine?
All right, Cam, thank you for that. The power is on at a massive new solar farm in Worcester with panels stretching as long as 19 football fields. The city paid for it by using bonds, but the $27 million project is expected to pay for itself after 6 years. Brittany Schaefer gives us a closer look.
This is a great achievement.
More than 28,000 solar panels are now generating power for the city of Worcester. The Greenwood Street solar array is expected to save the city $60 million over the next 30 years.
It's going to generate enough electricity to power the equivalent of 1,300 homes annually. So it's really satisfying to see that a lot of effort, a lot of work by a lot of people have come to fruition, and it's going to have the kind of benefit that we all talked about.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito says the state is a national leader for renewable energy, and Worcester is a big part of the success.
It shows that Worcester is a progressive city in terms of reaching renewable goals of its own, and I'm very proud to be here on this site today in Worcester. Proud of our municipal partners in the city for really showing the way for other municipalities to follow.
The solar panels sit on 25 acres of a former landfill. Marge Bacuri has lived in the neighborhood for 45 years and remembers the old dump.
Dirty, was it smelly? And I mean, a stench kind of smell because of the landfill.
Now seeing the project unveiled, Bacuri says the neighborhood has changed for the better.
It has turned everything around to a point where I would never live anywhere else in the world other than right here in Quinsigamond Village. I'm beside myself. I can't believe I'm up here.
Now Augustus says with all the money saved with this project, the city will be able to invest in things like downtown projects, the fire and police departments, and also city schools. In Worcester, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The state's top transportation leaders visit Millbury Thursday to tour the Route 146 Interchange project. Secretary Stephanie Pollock got a good look of the old new bridge and construction by Exit 8 of Route 146. Construction for the $20 million project began in October of 2015. Acting District 3 Highway Director Barry Lorian says the old bridge needed an update.
This bridge was both structurally deficient, or is structurally deficient, and functionally obsolete, where it's functionally obsolete in the sense that it doesn't provide the type of lanes or shoulders or geometry that we need to accommodate today's traffic volumes and today's vehicles.
MassDOT is towards the end of an 8-year, $3 billion accelerated bridge program that has fixed over 200 bridges across the Commonwealth. And this is one of those 200 bridges. In many cases, like this one, they're very complicated projects and they cost more money than is usually available for local communities.
The multi-phase project is expected to be completed by late 2019. It will feature a roundabout to replace the stoplight off Exit 8. An invisible hazard can be potentially deadly for boaters out on the water. The CDC is warning about carbon monoxide poisoning in boats, something they warn can be often overlooked. The Massachusetts Environmental Police says carbon monoxide poisoning can happen when a boat's engine compartment is not properly vented, causing a buildup of carbon monoxide. The gas can become trapped and circulate into other areas of the boat. Toxicologist Cale Whalen says this can often happen in older boats where a swimming platform blocks the engine. He says many swimmers and passengers may not even realize it's happening.
The swim decks at the back of the boat, and that carbon monoxide can build up under them, and if people, especially children who are smaller size, are swimming back there, they can have an exposure, develop symptoms. In situations where patients will present very, very ill or potentially in cardiac arrest and, from a carbon monoxide exposure.
You're supposed to run it for a few minutes, up to 5 or 10 minutes before you even start the motor. And a lot of new boaters don't know that that's there, or they forget to do it. They just get excited, they turn the key and start it on, and now they can run into an issue.
U.S. Department of Homeland Security says 32 boating accidents were caused by failure to vent in a 2015 report, resulting in 41 injuries. Environmental police say carbon monoxide caused 1 death recently in Quincy. They caution boaters to properly ventilate engine compartments and turn off the engine before getting in the water. A move to split up a regional school district surprising officials in 2 central Massachusetts communities. Some are wondering how much a move would cost both of the towns of Dudley and Charlton. Alicia Palumbo has more on the controversial proposal.
Get ready to go back to school in the Dudley-Charlton Regional School District. A move by the Charlton Board of Selectmen this week to explore deregionalization has left some people concerned about the future of the neighboring town's shared high school, Shepherd Hill.
This is merely to do a cost-benefit analysis to see what the burden would be to the residents of Charlton should we go forward.
Deregionalizing would mean Charlton would have to figure in the significant cost of building a high school versus remaining in the district facing its own possible Prop 2.5 override for the schools.
We want to explore all options based on budgetary concerns.
Dudley residents fear this could leave them in the lurch.
I guess it's a tax issue, and not really interested in paying more taxes.
Fine, let them do the exploration so that they can have some answers for the taxpayers.
Charlton residents say it's not just a financial issue. There are also concerns about long bus rides for Charlton students.
I think it would be much better for the kids in Charlton to go to their own town for school instead of going all the way to Dudley.
In a year where we're going forward with an override campaign, and we felt like we didn't need divisiveness, and I think that the selectmen's intentions are good, though.
Superintendent Greg Desto says the district understands funding is tight right now and that Charlton selectmen just don't want to leave any stone unturned. And for now, the district is just focused on the school year ahead of them.
We don't feel 1 inch more divided from Charlton than we ever have. We feel like our district is still strong as it's ever been.
At this point, all this means is that a consultant who was already hired by the town to analyze town expenses will also analyze the cost of deregionalizing. In Charlton, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
The Pawtucket Red Sox are considering a move to a new home. Many in the Worcester area, including Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, think the city would be a great fit. Polito says the state has been evaluating this business opportunity and is hopeful the team chooses Massachusetts.
Worcester is certainly home to the Bravehearts. They love baseball here. They look for affordable opportunities for family entertainment. Look at the Railers and Cliff Rucker, what he's doing right here in the Canal District with a great hockey opportunity for families to enjoy. I think Worcester is a great city that is well positioned to be a host for an enterprise like the Pawtucket Red Sox.
Polito also says more than one municipality in the state would love to host the team, so Worcester will face some competition. Massachusetts State Police have a new way to fight terrorism and crime. Today, Governor Charlie Baker and others unveiled what they're calling the 5th Division. It will collect and analyze criminal intelligence and protect large-scale events and infrastructure. The idea is to use technology and partnerships with police up and down the eastern seaboard to stop crime before it happens. Governor Baker says he thinks the 5th Division will also show drug and human trafficking.
Doing the research and using data so that hopefully we can start addressing the distribution and the trafficking issues on both the human trafficking side and the drug trafficking side farther up the chain of command.
The governor also thanked the legislator for supporting the initiative. Several artifacts from the Civil War captured by Union soldiers from Massachusetts are on display in North Carolina. The items include 3 Confederate flags and a cast bronze bell. The Grand Army of the Republic chapter in Worcester says they feel these items are on best display in the South because the war is important to people who fought for their land. Meanwhile, Chairman Daniel McAuliffe says the events in Charlottesville, Virginia are unfortunate, but says American history is being torn apart.
You know, what I'd love to have seen in Charlottesville is if they wanted to take down the Robert E. Lee statue was to have a bunch of historians in suits and tie picket and to see what reaction that would have taken, to keep all the bad groups out, all the radicals, keep them away from it. But I do, it tears me up inside perfectly, you know, to see that.
McAuliffe says the bell is on a 10-year lease with the museum in the South. He would consider bringing items back to Worcester, but wants to make sure they would be on